And welcome back to Daily Wrap. Well, before we jump in, let's jump on board, shall we? Newsmax wants to send one lucky couple on a 7-day Silver Sea cruise to the Caribbean this winter. Obviously, a luxury cruise on the Silver Wind is the trip of a lifetime. To win, however, you have to enter our sweepstakes. Visit newsmax.com/sweepstakes to enter. That's newsmax.com/sweepstakes. Somebody step on a duck? Anyway, hopefully you can't hear that at home. Anyway, before we go sideways.
Wow.
Potluck time, and Brad, you get to go first.
Oh, I get to transition from that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's try and make this serious because it actually is. It's not surprising, but the June 30th deadline in our negotiations with Iran has come and gone. It's also been extended to July 7th. It's not surprising that it's come and gone because the truth is it's to Iran's advantage to have it pass by. Because while we keep talking, they keep working. Working on what? Nuclear weapons or nuclear anything, we don't know.
There's literally somebody working on a weapon right now.
I hope that their scientists are not downstairs.
Right. Yes.
If they are, we're going to inspect them. Oh wait, we can't because we're part of the United States. And here's what's really troubling. It's not just that we've extended the deadline, and this administration has some credibility problems on deadlines, and has since we were told that biological weapons or chemical weapons in Syria would be a red line. Apparently there are no red lines when negotiating with Shiite powers in the Middle East. So that's a little disturbing. But again, much more disturbing are quotes that are coming from unnamed but official sources in the U.S. This is one that was quoted, offered to the French press and quoted in various European and Middle Eastern publications today. So the entry point, referring to the negotiations, isn't that we must be able to get into every military site, because the United States of America wouldn't allow anybody to get into every military site, so that's not appropriate. Excuse me? That's not appropriate? Look, I get it. Iran is a sovereign nation, and when you enter a negotiation with a sovereign nation, you know that they have rights as we have rights, and you also know that by definition a negotiation means nobody walks away fully satisfied, otherwise it's not a negotiation. But let's be clear, do unto others as they will have them do unto you is a sucker's bet if you're not actually equal partners. When our own government recognizes that Iran is the single biggest exporter of state-sponsored terrorism, to assume that they simply have to meet the measure of how the United States behaves is actually insane. So I get it. A good deal doesn't necessarily mean a deal that will satisfy everyone in the United States. That's why we call it a negotiation. But this is downright foolish and potentially deadly dangerous.
Why do you think they're so amped to get a deal done when there's really no public outcry to get the deal done? It's either apathy or people are saying this is a bad deal. I never hear people say, boy, this is a really good idea.
I think there's two reasons. First of all, when you start to pursue a goal, and here I want to judge them with the best of motivations, you get intoxicated with your own possibility of success. The problem is that's why you need outsiders who tell you, you know, a win, if it's a bad game, it's not a win.
That's
yeah,
true.
I got to say, I thought that explanation was pretty lame. I did, and if anything, it's turned me even more against this possible deal. It was just, look, I've been a negotiator my whole life, and I do try and look at it from the point of view, why should I expect something from the person across the table that I wouldn't do myself? But it's not just a person across the table. It's a person that's lied, cheated, stolen, and sponsored terrorism all over the world. So, you know, this was not a good way to go. I really think at this point, better than 50-50, no deal. I think politically Obama can afford it now because he has had a good couple of weeks.
Listen, if his wins allow him to do that, because if this is the deal we make, this is a deal that we will, I hope, only live to regret, not die to regret.
Okay. Rick, what'd you cook up tonight?
We short time, but that's okay. Short subject. I was taken by this story that I read about what happened at Walmart. Apparently a gentleman, interesting guy, biker guy, I like biker guys, he goes in and he asks for a cake with a Confederate flag on it. Well, as we know, Walmart had voluntarily decided they were not going to do business anymore with Confederate flag or Confederate materials, and nobody forced them. It's not government. That was just a decision they made. So they said no to him. And he proved it because in the video you can go watch, he shows you the rejection and the whole thing. So the guy's telling the truth. Then he had the idea to go back into Walmart and give them a design of a flag and ask them if they would do that cake. They gladly complied, did an absolutely beautiful job of it. As you can see, the problem is it's the ISIS flag. So Walmart, no to the Confederate flag and yes to the ISIS flag.
Wow.
Look, I appreciate that Walmart wants to show some respect towards the black community in America and getting rid of the Confederate stuff, but guys, come on. I have spent years arguing for Walmart employees that they don't get paid enough. Whoever the bonehead was who didn't think to check out that kind of language and went ahead and make the cake makes me feel like maybe I shouldn't be arguing for Walmart employees the way that I do, because that was really stupid. Walmart, of course, has apologized, but oh, guys, come on.
That just shows you how many little people are paying attention to
Yeah.
foreign policy and ISIS because
But you know, when you see the letter, you go, I better check this out.
that's a little
you know?
different. At least it wasn't like that flag in London at that gay pride event. Now that would have been a problem. That's certainly for sure. By the way, CNN will not even
They won't
retract that
follow- yeah,
story,
I know.
and the reporter's standing by it, which is fascinating. Anyway, it's time for Yay or Nay that's coming up next. This is the Daily Wrap. You're not allowed to go anywhere.